first off, I want to thank God. Without him, I wouldn't be where I am today. I want to thank Jeffrey Lurie, Howie Roseman, and Coach Peterson. They made a little kid's dream come true. I've been dreaming for this since I was a kid. And as soon as I got the call, I was very emotional, and I just couldn't stop saying thank you to my family, to the coaches that were on the phone, but most and foremost, I want to thank God, and saying that.
You're the third professional athlete in your immediate family. Have your parents kind of given you some guidance as to how to take this next step?
Yeah. They a lot of people think living with two players, professional basketball players, it's gotta be a lot of pressure on you. And I was just like no. They told me right from the beginning, if I didn't want to play sports, that's more than okay with them. As long as I'm doing something that I love, I'm gonna make them proud regardless. So yeah, I haven't said that. It just took a big weight off my shoulders to I'm going to do what I love, and what I love to do is play football. So they try to help as much as they can with that. They don't know much about it. Obviously they do a little bit more now. But any kind of life experience that I have, any sports experience that can be relatable between basketball and football, I always ask them. They always give me great advice.
How's your basketball game?
It's still there a little bit. Coach Shaw didn't let us play a lot of basketball at Stanford, but in the springtime, I'd sneak into court from time to time.
When did you decide on football kind of over basketball?
I was in high school, in junior year, sophomore, junior year, when and I got my first couple letters in football, and there was a game where I scored a game-winning touchdown, and that feeling, I was like, there's no feeling in basketball that's going to compare to this. So just having that bus ride back, and everybody's like, dude, you're going to go to college, you're gonna make it to the pros, let's go. Having that feeling, I was like, I got to make it happen. There's no better feeling in the world. So yeah, and then basketball, it was always a sport that I grew up playing, grew up learning about. But football was like, dang, I can just come out here and just be me. And if I make a mistake, my parents ain't gonna know I made a mistake. But yeah, I just fell in love with it in high school.
Why Stanford?
It's the best combination of academics and sports. We win the Directors Cup every year, which is the tournament for that measures the success of sports in your university. But at the same time, I went on a visit and met Condoleezza Rice. She shook my hand, and I ended up working for her this past summer. And I was like, there's no other place in the country where you can do that and still win 9, 10, 11 games every year.
What did you do for Rice this past summer?
I was basically I like to say I was the first body of the fence. Anybody who wanted to contact her or meet with her, they had to go through me first, which was cool because I got to meet some extraordinary people from around the world.
You mentioned Coach Shaw a little bit. He seems to really love the NFL draft, even does some analyst work. Obviously, you have to get ready to play USC and Notre Dame, but was he a good coach to play for as far as taking that next step, and he realizes what you need to get to the NFL?
Oh, yeah. He's been here before. He knows the ins and outs. Coach Shaw, there's a reason why we win 9, 10, 11 games every year, because he knows what he's doing. And everything that we learn, it's all right. We're going to watch the best do it. We watched a lot of Philadelphia. We watched a lot of guys that emulate the same offense that we have. Because if you can learn from the best, that's just going to make you better. So just having the same terminology, same schemes going into the next level, and having Coach Shaw knowing what's going to work because he's been here before. It's just, there's a reason why we win a lot of games every year.
You talked to us last night. You said Alshon's the guy you looked up to in terms of his playing style. Is that because of what he's done in the league? Is it because you're both South Carolina guys? What's kind of the background for it?
Both. Yeah, no. When I grew up watching Alshon, he's from the Carolinas. That's a guy that that everybody in the state knew. Yeah. And as a kid, it's like, dang, I want to be him one day. I want to be playing college football, representing my state. Having all the kids look up to me, that was me. On top of that, when I get to Stanford and he's tearing it up in the league, it's like, dang, I got to do whatever he's doing because whatever he's doing is working. and I want to emulate the same kind of style.
So has it sunk in yet that he's your teammate and probably a guy you're going to learn from one-on-one here?
Yeah, we exchanged some text messages already. I'm excited to learn from him, and I think he's excited to, just kind of guide me and, teach me, whatever he's done that's worked. 'Cause at the end of the day, the better that I'm at, the better I can make the team, the better we can all benefit from it.
JJ, in your role as intermediary, you said you met a couple of people from around the world, a couple of cool people. What are a couple of names, maybe?
I don't know how confidential they want me to keep that. I'll just say I met some ambassadors, Russian ambassador, Chinese ambassadors. I met some of Condoleezza's close friends who I'm not going to name because I like to keep it that she probably wanted me to keep it that way. I think one day the craziest call I got was from George Shultz, who used to be Secretary of State for Reagan or something like that, and I didn't even know. And I picked up the phone, I talked to him for a while, hung up, and all the interns were because all the interns are from DC, and they worked hard to get there. I'm who's that? I was like, yeah, it's this George Shultz, and they're everybody's jaw dropped, and I was like what? What was going on? They're like, yo, you just don't understand who you just talked to. And yeah, I know, but I met a lot of interesting people.
You mentioned Coach Shaw about talking to him about making your decision coming out early. Was it important? Was his recommendation important? And how much do you trust him with that?
Yeah, it's funny because the way that it happened, we were walking off the field one day, and me and him were just kidding around, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna miss you." I was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "You know what I mean. You're ready for the next step. As much as I'd love to see you come back, you're ready, and you're gonna tear it up." And this was halfway through the season. And after he said that, I was like, "Yeah, if I have his blessing, I have confidence in myself that I'm gonna do it already. So, why not?"
Was that after a game or after practice?
After practice, walking off the field.
He was here. He was with the Eagles, Coach Shaw, briefly. I was wondering if he ever kind of talked about his experiences here, talked about the city, either since you were drafted or while you were playing there.
He just talks about his NFL experiences, not really specifically. He'll name drop from time to time. He loves to name drop Jerry Rice, but that's a great name to drop. Especially when he's talking to the receivers. He doesn't say specifically where and what happened. He just kind of tells us hey, when I was in the league, coaching, this is what worked, and this is why.
How much have you watched of Carson Wentz, and how much are you looking forward to getting a chance to play with a guy like that?
Well, I watched him a lot actually. His kind of backup quarterback in college was Easton Stick. And we had the same agency. We were at the same agency, so we watched film all the time together. And he'd be watching film of Carson because Carson does it right. And when I'm watching, I'm like, dang, these guys up at NDSU know what they're doing. So I got to watch a lot of him in college, but at the same time, he's been tearing it up here too. Like I said, if you want to learn from the best, you gotta watch the best.
What do you think
prompted Coach Shaw to say it in that moment? Was there something about that practice, or were you guys, or a game that you're coming off of? What do you think?
I don't know. Me and especially my senior year, me and Coach Shaw really got really comfortable with each other because there's been times where I just come in his office and I'm like, hey, listen, I got to talk to you about whatever is going on, and he just sits there and listens. After Notre Dame, we became really close. My grandma passed away, and we hugged and shed a lot of tears, and he helped me out a lot through that process. And then after that, it was every week. It was just, it was professional when it was time to be professional. But then outside of that, it was, how's family doing? How are you doing? Joking around, and just so happened that day was walking off the field, and he said, yeah, we're gonna miss you.
JJ, you were a team captain this past year. Talked about your background. How much do you think that will help as you settle into the culture here, which obviously has a pretty strong reputation around the league?
Yeah, being team captain was something that I worked hard towards. It took some time. I gained a lot of respect from my teammates to get that. At the same time, I'm coming in, haven't played it down in football in the pros yet. So, I'm starting at the bottom, and I need to work my way up to the top. And I think that I have great people to kind of follow in their footsteps to do that. So yeah, I mean, this team's going to have captains, going to have leaders, and for good reason. I'm going to listen and do whatever they need me to do to help the team win.
Do you plan to tap into Zach Ertz at all as far as maybe just the logistics of moving to Philadelphia and just the everyday life type of things?
Yeah, no, we've been texting nonstop since I got drafted here. So yeah, no, he texted me. He was like, hey, like when you're in Philly, like let me know. We're gonna link up and we're gonna meet, talk about whatever. And I was like, I'm here today. He's like, dang, I'm actually not here today, but next time we'll link up. But yeah, I'm probably gonna give him a call within these next couple of days just to catch up. I see him every off season. And I actually saw him like last month when we was at Stanford a couple months ago. So, yeah, me and him have a good relationship.
You mentioned
What do you know about like the Eagles receiver group? I mean, obviously you know about Alshon Jeffrey, but like the other guys, and do you kind of see like everybody's being kind of complimentary with their playing styles, like including yourself and everything?
Oh yeah, no, everybody in that receiver room is great, and and Mac Hollins, like we have the same agent. He came down. We've hung out a bunch of times. Nelson Aguilar, we had the same trainer, Ricky Prohl. So there was a bunch of times we got to train together. So yeah, it was I'm very, very comfortable with coming into a meeting room knowing some guys already.
You mentioned your grandmother. What was your relationship like with her, and how difficult was that stretch when she obviously passed away when you were in college?
That was very difficult. I saw her every day when I was in high school. I would wake up in the morning, take my brother to school, and then hang out with my grandma until it was time for me to go to school. So, yeah, that was like my guardian angel right there. But it was crazy the day that she passed away because she sent me a message before we played Oregon. I was like, scored 2-3 touchdowns for me. I love you. And before the game started, she passed away, and I didn't find out till after the game, and I got to score 2 touchdowns for her. So that was like. I was like, dang, Grandma, like that would be you. Like that would happen to us. But it was tough, but I had Coach Shaw, I had my teammates. Like my teammates came in big for me. Everybody was so supportive. So like it was tough, but I was with the right people, able to let me lean on them.
Would Condoleezza have made a good baseball commissioner?
I'm convinced whatever Condoleezza wants to do, she's going to be the best at it. It don't matter if that's head football coach, baseball commissioner, politician, whatever. Like that woman's incredible. Yeah, her office is full of football stuff, believe it or not. I had to take inventory one day, and all I took inventory was like football helmets, signed jerseys, books about sports, not really even about law or politics. It was about sports. She has like a huge football on her desk. Yeah, she loves some football.
How did you meet up with Ricky Prohl, and how good was it to have a guy who played in the league so long to kind of work on conditioning with, who was a receiver?
And so his son is in the same agency as us, Rep One Sports. So he came down, and I was like, I need you to train me. Like, you're the best. There's a reason why you played 17 years in the league. So we trained and we became close. And he was excited for me when I got drafted, and he came to my pro day and everything. And this is a guy who flew from North Carolina all the way to Stanford just to watch me perform.
Was there anything in particular you kind of learned from him about conditioning, football-wise, receiver-wise, staying in shape?
Yeah, it was funny because he told me, he was like, I can already tell, like, whenever you go a million miles an hour, which is a good thing, but you can't do that all the time. And he taught me how to slow things down, how to make things easier on myself. Coming in and out of breaks was the biggest thing. He thought that I was just going too fast. I just tried to run too hard. So he slowed it down for me. It's just being smooth, in and out of cuts and all that good stuff.
The camera showed you getting selected by the Eagles, getting emotional with your family and friends by your side. What kind of things were going through your mind as you were taking that call?
It was crazy because as soon as I looked down on my phone and said Philadelphia, I forgot that I was even with people. Like, it was just me and whoever was on the other side of the phone, and I started crying because I was like, dang, I'm about to be an Eagle. And my mom started crying, made me want to cry even more, and then my dad started crying. I'm like, dang, guys, like I'm trying not to cry. I'm trying to look tough on TV. But it was just like a big weight lifted off my shoulders, especially when it was an organization like this, that does things the right way and wins games.
Thanks, JJ.
Thank you, guys.